Hello everyone. Hope everyone is having a great summer. I know it's a little bit warm for some people's comfort, but I think it's really nice to get some hot days in here. And before you know it, we'll be back in some really cold temperatures again. And if it is hot, the very least you could do is probably find somewhere outside that's nice and shaded, like the woods. It might be a very warm day. We're still in the mid 90s today, but it doesn't feel too bad having all this shade around. And hearing the sounds of nature kind of keeps you calm. And that's kind of going to be helping with being in such an environment as warm as it is right now. It's been a very long time since I've posted to this channel. I've only had one other video, and that was all the way back in August. Since then, I've continued to lose more weight, and by mid-September, I was around my goal of 75 pounds. And after that, I went from 5 days a week of working out to 4 days, and then at that point I went down to 3 days. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was a little bit laxed on my diet, so I was kind of opening up just a little bit more. And then I've noticed that I was gaining some weight, and I lost some weight, and kind of doing that over again. And at a certain point, I have to realize that maybe where I wasn't enough, and I wanted to continue. And of course, once the spring rolled around and things started getting a little bit warmer, it encourages me to go outside more and get way more steps in than just being on a machine in a gym. And when May rolled around, I started really cutting back again, started hitting the diet a little bit as intensely as I did last summer, because the warm season is the time of year where you can really shut off a lot of weight. If you work really hard, if you are really disciplined, you'll go a very long way. Now, at this point, I lost, I think, a little over 90 pounds. I might have gained a few pounds since. I haven't weighed myself in a couple of days, but I've been pretty active. And where I'm at right now is Hickory Run State Park. I believe this is one of the trails that has all the very specialty plants here with the rhododendrons. I forget the pronunciation, but I'm just going to call them that, the rhodes. But these sort of like long leaves, and they have like these flowers that kind of bloom in them. These are basically an indication that either you're near kind of a decent body of water, like a river, or this is a temperate rainforest, and that's what this qualifies as. So yeah, I thought I'd give you a little update on that. It's a beautiful place, wonderful place to go for a hike, and especially as warm as it is right now, it's nice to be all shaded, like I said. Now, some more things that I've lost, some more things that I've learned along the way with losing all that weight. About 85 to 90 pounds is definitely some more things I've learned. Like, one of them is I may have lost all this weight, but I feel like I haven't gotten the shape that I wanted to. Now granted, I am having a very strict diet. I have a very consistent workout regime. I make sure I get the right supplements. I need to make sure that I get proper sleep. And when I have all those elements, that's certainly going to help me get stronger, get more energetic, get in a better weight, but it might not necessarily give me the best shape. Now, most of my body, I feel like I look very good, definitely much more defined. I can tell with my extremities, with my face, upper body, with my legs, I look pretty toned. Now, the issue I kind of talked about in the last video was like my stomach. I can't really get that on the video, but that, it's still like kind of, it looks pretty soft. That's pretty much because I had kind of a big belly there, a pretty big belly when I was heavy. And while that mostly is gone, there's a lot of loose skin left behind. And of course that means that it's going to just kind of hang there. And it will take time for that to tone up. It will take a bit to improve. So I don't want people to be discouraged by the big obvious thing and they want to really cut down on this size, they want this to be nice and tight, everything else looks good, but if they feel like they're not happy with themselves because this still doesn't look good, it's discouraging them from continuing on with their goal, with their program. And I don't think that people should be really discouraged by that. It is pretty tough, but if you stick it out a bit more, as am I going to do, I'm going to have the next year really tone myself up. Because right now, I'm at a weight, I guess I could lose maybe a few more pounds, but yeah, the shape may not be the most desirable, but don't give up, okay? It's not a bad thing. It just means you have a lot of loose skin. Another thing I've learned is you kind of raise your confidence a bit. Now, part of losing all that weight, you had to work hard to get here. You obviously had to move your body, and for a while it was pretty tiring because you're carrying a lot more weight, so everything you do is going to require more effort. But once you lose that weight, once you consistently work out and you have these programs, you lose all this weight, and suddenly you feel more energetic. It takes less energy for you to do everything you already did. You'll feel like you're much more outspoken too. Come with that energy, I feel like my confidence is a lot higher. I don't feel like I've had this even in the last video. I had like that whole sheet of notes that I was kind of writing down for the video. And even when I was 60 pounds down, I was making improvements, but I don't think I'm anywhere where I am today. I feel like something has really built on me that I can rely on and have better charisma. And I think I really owe that to working out and kind of stressing the body out by doing weightlifting and core workouts and all that. I think that there is something that it definitely elevates your kind of your mood, your self-esteem, your energy, your confidence. And it goes a long way, more than just losing weight. And when you have more problems in life, when you have to handle stressful situations, maybe you're the person that can remain calm. Because you've put your body through a lot. And chances are, stress, dissatisfaction in life, and kind of things piling up may have led you to become maybe out of shape, maybe gain weight that you didn't want to. And then you've taken the journey to go the other way, to lose a lot of weight, and to kind of feel a lot better, much more energetic. And now you don't really have that fear. You don't really have lingering stress that you feel like is out of your control. Now, there is obviously stress that is important. It's always necessary to have just a little bit because it gets things done. That you feel like you can take on things that you haven't been able to before you started this journey. Yeah, losing all this weight, I feel much more energetic. I feel younger. I feel more flexible. My recovery is quicker. Heck, even when I get bruises, they recover pretty quickly. Everything improves in that regard once you lose all this weight, once you're in really good shape especially. Another thing, of course, is as long as you're sticking to the plan, you have a healthy diet, you're working out consistently, you're obviously getting sleep and all, and nice to get some fresh air, because there's one thing to work out and all, but it's another when we're actually outside, getting sunlight, and we are able to enjoy nature. It's necessary for us. Get that sunlight on your skin. But another thing to learn is as long as you're doing everything, you feel like you're really building a habit that you could stick with for the rest of your life. Chances are, for a lot of people that kind of want to lose the weight or they want to change their life, they're not sure what to do. And oftentimes they may not be sure of what to do when they work out or what their diet is, how they should go about their day, what they should prioritize. And so it does get a little bit frustrating and a little stuck, and sometimes it gets people to quit. And you will have to understand that you will need to make a consistent life. That suddenly now your life is going to revolve around this project on yourself. But over time, the more you go through this, the more habits that you pick up, the more skills that you've learned, either an improvement in how you work out, or maybe some really good meals that you can make that are really good for you. To kind of be self-reliant in that regard goes a long way. And I've done that over the course of a year. I pretty much only eat anything that I can make myself. I do all these kinds of workouts that are tailored for me. And I'm really immune to this daily, consistent habit that I'm almost hard-pressed to ever want to take a break from that. That I just want to keep on going, and I don't even think of it as, well, I need to lose weight and carry on. It's more like, no, I just like doing this. This is what I'm comfortable with. I enjoy working out. I enjoy the food that I eat. So yes, you will pick up habits that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. That goes a very long way. And it makes this whole thing feel less like a chore and more like a lifestyle. All these things, maybe not happy with the shape that you're in, but you feel more energetic, you feel more confident, you feel like you can recover quicker, you feel younger, you definitely develop some really good habits, you feel like you have a great lifestyle that doesn't feel like it's a chore. There are some days where I don't feel like working out, but kind of midway through, I'm absolutely glad that I did. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to carry on and to do things that you don't want to, but that is the human spirit. But anyway, these are a couple of things that I've learned along the way. I kind of came up with this on the spot, so I'm sure once I drive home after this trip, I'm going to be thinking of more things to come up with, but I had to get some video with this plant in the background. It's a beautiful park. Absolutely recommend any of you coming up here. It's a Sand Spring Trail. I believe that's the one here. It's got a tunnel of these rhodesian plants. Again, I forget the pronunciation. But anyway, that'll be all for me for now, and I hope to put out more while the season is nice and green and warm. So I hope you all have a great day, and carry on.